No push on to B or C. They are going to go for that rubble control, though, over at A. So, KRU looking to set a little bit of a pace here. Very far up already, and it's actually just going to be a spawn fight to start us off on first round.
Yeah, thankfully, it's a spawn fight with more players on the attack side than there is on the defensive side. Paranoia to push out the defenders of KRU back towards rubble. There's only one player there. It's Kesnet with the pain shells. It's Kesnet swinging out. It's Kesnet with the headshot onto Mazzino. And once again, in the true fashion of Sideshow, that's the spike.
Well, how do you run out to look for a first kill? Shy brings it back, though. They should be able to recover, retrieve. It just leaves it up to Davies and Nags now, who are aware of the movement, but need to hit the shots. They recoup. They're going to go back for a light defense at the back of A and just try to predict the site here.
Yeah.
All the time in the world for Leviatan.
Thankfully, again, power of numbers for Leviatan. Could move in and pick up that spike once again. KRU working together at the same time, leaving all of the Killjoy utility just left on an island outside of the range, so you're just playing blinded, gambling on this stack for both Davies and Nags.
What do they have? Ghost Classic comes up big.
Gamble stack is perfect.
They have to dry peek.
Low HP are the last two players of Leviatan. Shy looking for an ace, does have a sheriff to work with. There's only 10 seconds left. Going in the site, safe plant away from the nano swarm. Low HP.
Yeah, he knows.
Against the ghost. Using as many obstacles as possible. Shy looking for timing. Cannot get it. A body shot only onto Davies. A nice attempt, but a round once again still goes to KRU.
Pressure from KRU. All these kills over by Mound. And then misjudged. I think misjudged on the second portion of aggression. Melzer goes out. And they get that drop. Sorry, Mazzino goes out. And that gets dropped down. Interesting stuff. And a quick kill by Davies to lock up the round. Doing great in clutch situations. And KRU are going to start this one off with another pistol round for themselves. And that momentum. Bulldogs, a phantom for Kesnet here. Feeling really comfortable.
Yeah. Again, such great calls on the fly from KRU.
Yeah.
With that stack that they had on the A site, their read was, okay, well, they saw our three guys working on the A site. So in Leviathan's point of view, KJ utility is probably on B and C, so let's try to work towards the A site still. And then they double stack that to get these kills. And again, you needed a heroic effort from Shy, but unfortunately fell short. This time around, round number 2, disadvantage for Leviatan on the Shiko. Forming up these orbs. Shy is actually 1 away from a lockdown, which, again, that's another great silver lining for Leviatan.
Oh. They use the orb timing so well. Hearing, like you said, the orb's getting farmed. They start to push, the door opens! And Kesnet closes it quick on 2 members.
Yep. Almost a wall bang, TP away, shrouded step from Melzer out to safety, and sprinting towards the A side is Klaus, moving over. For the heal, still Takulia getting a nice little pick. I was just about to mention Kesnet from those 3 kills and on that death is also moving very, very close to a showstopper to help on a retake when Shy potentially will use his lockdown on the next.
All right. Lev realizing KRU's playing this a little loose, going for the shots, going for the hits. One more! Oh.
Need this man right here. A chance for redemption. To prove the haters wrong. On a post plant, 2 versus 1 not for him, but still has a sheriff for wallbangs. If it does come down to a 1v1 almost. As it does just on time, Klaus comes around the corner. No clutch in for Takulia. Unfortunately, the taco crumbles.
They keep 2 up, a Bulldog and a Phantom to bring into the bonus round, so they should be feeling all right. Davies may have a low buy here, but KRU on the momentum, reading the map already. And almost having the back of Leviatan on a few of the engagements here, just to show you how far they are into the heads of Leviatan on these low buy rounds. But now we have weapons. Leviatan is a team that plays aggressive from the defensive side, so they should be recognizing what can happen to them as they start to attack here and try to get these rounds back in their favor.
Yeah.
Lockdown and showstop, lockdown up and showstop are very close here for Leviatan.
We're looking to go quick. at least for mound control, maybe force an early rotating, then engage a late lurk now from the attack on the King.
Yeah. Saw Kesnet in that doorway last time. They have control over mid. Shy has that orb controlled, so that might be Kesnet's farm. Taco's farm. And then they make their way to whatever site is going to be that final hit. They
Placing swarm grenade.
pass up the orb, and they're going to get met by 2 members here.
Nice. Little piece of utility here to try to fletch out towards rubble. Saw the Prowlers coming out as well, now pushing the defenders back onto the A site.
Yeah.
And as they do that and try to readapt, Leviatan's definitely looking to move towards this lockdown on C.
All this Killjoy utility, and then the delay of Nag's Viper bites. It doesn't look like it's going to stop Leviatan for too long.
Paint shells are going to be important here. Lands on the ground, breaks that KG utility, will give a chance for Leviatan to move inside the C
30
site.
seconds left.
Ground gain, Leviatan setting up now for a pulse plan. Very slow is the spike moving in. That's on the back of Nosware. 20 seconds left. KRU getting ready already to flood back. Nice shot by Takulia. Now activates the showstopper, pushing enemies away. Big flash now, at least confirming is the plant going down for Leviatan. Klaus looking for the wall bangs with the Sheriff. Sprayed across. Takulia supporting his teammates once again. Leaves up to Kesnet with 3 HP. Dropped. And a big round, actually, for Takulia there to allow Leviatan to get an early round on Lotus.
Almost looks like Shy should be the guy getting all these orbs. If that's how Leviatan's going to be able to play and hold the site. First, KRU coming back in. Nicely done. Taco getting a lot of priority frags here to get the nade again. Make sure this is a Leviatan round. And that was just a kind of a tried and true strat, right?
Yep.
It was known they were going C. They still pushed through. They had the hits with the ultimate and textbook. That's what we need to be seeing from Lev. They've been trying a little too much trickery. Ugh.
Just too much utility going out here towards the rubble. And you couldn't control it at all. Even the paint shells weren't being thrown towards the entrance of A. It was actually at rubble itself. So Shy has to activate. But only gets that one. Disadvantage now for Leviatan, as the last 2 members are grouping up together towards the C side.
You just take a moment to think, like, all this action happened, Nags didn't move. Not a bit. Cemented to anchor this site.
Enemy remaining.
Has to. All of that utility from Killjoy so far away, not in range of a turret, so to get information, you need to put some bodies there. And not only does he get information, he gets the pick off, leaving Nosware at a big disadvantage. 3 versus 1, 2 flanking from the C side from KRU. Up at mound. Spike now going down.
Turret's about to come in range. There it is.
Good play here by Nosware. Masking now all that information. And as the smoke dissipates under dark cover, that's a surprise from Melzer and Davies to drop the last player there from Leviatan.
It can't be every round with an ultimate here for Leviatan. They've got to be able to break and hold the sites with regular utility. And just as I said, there's so many tricky things being tried here by Lev. They go to get in front of the nade stack on rubble. Go down, trying to get that tight play in there. KRU just does not seem to be affected by the pressure. They're thriving in it, and they're looking for it to come from Leviatan. They know Lev's going to be a bit aggressive on these rounds. So far, great map reads. Beginning of the round to end here from KRU. All defuses, though, so we see that Leviatan is getting to the site, getting the spike down, but the post plant is not occurring for them.
Yeah. And you are losing a lot of players in the process once you actually get your plant down.
Yeah.
Things stay quiet for a bit. Trying to make sure here that we could actually have and wait for Melzer to be in that position up towards that rubble. Now you finally go for the lineups to try to push him away. But he's playing on the top of the boxes right there. Read it like a book. Messino TP's right to his death. And the one waste continues to pop for KRU, pushing Leviatan away.
Just, again, ready for the aggression in their face. I feel like a Sky there tells you that they've pushed up, right? You don't have that utility. It's not a mistake to not have a Sky, but you're seeing Leviatan have to dry peek more or wait for better positions to use utility where it is costing them members. Like you said, Vance, hardly getting to the site with a full team.
Yeah.
It's too hard.
It's almost one of those positives there of getting that fade in your composition for Leviatan is to try to prowler across all these consistent one-ways when you have to play against an Omen. But unfortunately, looks like it was looking to be used towards
30
the
seconds
mid-rounding,
left.
the last second hits.
Yeah.
But you need more than that when you can't cross that line of rubble towards that A side. Unless it was the pistol round pretty much where they had the most success, but they had to fight hard to actually make it into the A site for Leviatan.
And you can always say that Lev's playing these situations wrong. We're kind of framing it like that, but you got to give credit to
10
KRU still.
seconds left.
They're creating these errors on the side of Lev right now, and they're forcing them out of Lev. So big props to KRU here for the situation they're creating. Shy fends off the last few in spawn, as we do get a bit of a Leviatan save there. And they're going to have some weapons coming into this next round. Facing 3 ultimates, though. On the side of KRU, we do get a timeout here from Owner.
Yeah. Saw the 3 players on the A side trying to push through and drop those weapons, but thankfully Shy continues to anchor and making sure that he watches over that rotate. The economy was looking pretty low for KRU despite the amount of rounds that they were currently winning, so good job for Shy to fend that off. And now the timeout to try to, at least in the few rounds that we've seen, how do we break that defensive barrier from KRU on that A side?
I think it was interesting what Josh said, or Josh and Brent, I think, going into kind of Fnatic comp. They're using, being able to have the fade, but not the Astra. And with that, it seems like they're also lacking that angle check where the Astra would close off something you need. And having maybe a Sky in a situation could flash higher than a Prowler or the Haunt would be able to reach. So
yeah. I mean,
with this comp, I think Lev just needs to check those corners more and know they can move forward without having 4 members of KRU there, because they've been walking into traps.
At least into that trade-off, yes, you lose the Astra and you can add too many stars in that rubble, but they still have a paranoia from Melzer, right? So if they want to try to use that from that entrance on the A side and try to push that away, but it definitely does seem like from this moment now from Leviatan, you're trying to keep the bigger pieces of those flashes for preventing post plants retakes from KRU. But again, you really haven't had a chance to really fend that off unless it was that success off of Shy's lockdown. So why not use that utility first and see if you're at least able to win those gunfights? Force KRU's hand a little bit more here as KRU, as you can tell, as you can see so far, has been controlling the defensive half with their aggression instead. Leviatan staying towards the spawn. There's that paranoia that we wanted to talk about, that we wanted to see. Now a triple swing countered back by a flash out from Klaus. Bunch of utility coming out. And Kesset just wants to fight it with everybody else. Lower HP or actually Leviatan. And finally, as you see, dark covers all over the place. That's going to slow down the fight on C.
That's crazy. How much they just fought for Mound. A little bit of orb control to start this one off, and they disperse again. Looks like A could be the final hit. This lurk from Shy could be the nail in the coffin if they time it right. He gets a little identified by util to start off, though.
Yeah, this could still be a nice little break that utility, break maybe
there it
door,
is.
but
there
you
it
go,
is.
the nice lurk from King. Mazzino through the smoke, the wall bang onto Melzer. Forcing out a lockdown early. Can't really spam it out, and there you go. Finally through the wall bangs, the Vandals drop it. But Noswar stuck in the sight, the tap, forcing the enemies out.
30 seconds
and
left.
this is actually a really good round for Leviatan from the pivot from the C to the A site.
Yeah, it's the pivot that did it, because we know they didn't have utility to get into A.
Right.
Great firepower and teamwork, though, because that's what it calls upon when you've used everything just to battle for Mound. Yeah, Lev with the quick switch here, and that it seemed to favor him. Much more comfortable in taking the site. Every time they've gotten to these positions, they're almost giving KRU too much time to set up, and that one was just off the cuff. Leviatan stay alive with 4 here. Big kills by King. Throughout a lot of them, he was going down on split quite a few times, but in these rotational moments, when he catches the team transferring from site to site, King has been huge.
Yeah. You've definitely seen some more here out of Taco. Shy almost getting an ace. So, actually, it kind of makes me think of when we were looking at Leviatan at the beginning of the season. Slow starts, then coming back, warming up, and then they're putting up a big fight, right? Remember the map that they won against C9 here, that 13-7, I'm pretty sure was the second map of that series in the playoffs. So now an opportunity to come back. You saw some ultimates available.
Yeah.
Nightfall. And actually, the pit could be quite important here to counteract against Klaus's Seekers.
I don't think Davies will be putting the lockdown there again, by the way. Snuffing out the round, but here we are, 7. And fast again. There the flashes towards Waterfall, and they're going to hit it. Nightfall comes out, and the team has not entered yet. Here we go.
Too, to push him back. No utility. Nanoswarms are actually towards that B site. Running behind the Seeker is trying to surprise your opponents. Davies gets punished right away. Shy anchoring down. And as we've weathered the storm, the plat now comes in for Leviatan. Melzer and Nags remaining for KRU on an attempt of a retake. No utility as well to re-clear back, so they have to wait for the Poison Orb to come back down. Early Haunt, though, might give them an advantage, an opportunity to swing through.
Poison orb emitting.
Little life of the Leviathan we know from this season. This aggression, taking everything they can without KRU being able to retaliate.
Nicely.
4 members alive last round on the W, 3 alive this time for Leviathan. They are giving themselves a great advantage here to carry out the rest of the half. Even down 1, the momentum seems fully in their favor. So a hit to C to A from last round, and a straight hit to C for this current round. What do they change next? We have not seen a lot of B play coming in from Leviathan at all. Whether it's through Baby Door, whether it's through mid, they've only played the extremities. So now, if they've conditioned KRU to this, do they try a little bit of the mid? We'll have to see. This round can play out anyway, but the orb control is a definite to start off here for Leviathan. Taco with ult! Do they still decide to bounce in?
That's already the smoke's down, though. Gonna be very difficult. Gonna have to come up with something big while you're looking at this. This is a Sheikah with the exception of a Guardian for Kesnet, and they maximize the value out of that. Showstopper available too.
How many did they get yesterday, right? I think 5, 6 throughout the whole LCQ run so far, and they're thrifties for KRU.
Nice lurk by Shy.
Trades it back. That was a very necessary kill.
Especially that Showstopper we just mentioned available for Kesnet. So that's gonna dwindle the hopes of KRU of playing a good retake. So comes down now to those Sheriffs.
Pushed up on Mound. The focus can stay towards BC right now because of Melzer's positioning on A for KRU.
Find you.
Soon to be High Noon.
Still waiting.
Showstopper in.
Oh, uh-oh.
Takolia, there you go, gets picked and never checked inside. That orb of the Poison Cloud. The Showstopper gets canceled. A swing back out. Haunt's coming through. Prowler's coming through, rather. And finally, we're trying to open it up. King do it over. He just got dinged for 145. But somehow it's a 2 versus 2. 13 seconds left on the clock. Leviatan have to pick up the pace.
35 health for Lev.
left.
All together.
There's the turret down. There's the plant attempt. And it's a safe plant, no wall bangs available, but they're pinned at low HP, and Davies has the angle. Shy trying to push through, headshot it, but it's a trade-off! What a shot! Seize the moment for Leviatan to tie up this game on Lotus!
Said it before, King's having some moments and pulls another one out at the perfect time to tie us up here. Getting the Viper's Pit with that as well, and the lockdown, which is what helped secure Leviathan their first round on attack. So if they can use this lockdown again, maybe they get a little bit of a runaway on the score line. That was wild. Everybody feeling it. Guys trying to make a phone call. Can't even hear over there. That's what Lev's starting to produce for their fans. Let's see if they can get this run.
I can't hear you. King's too good.
We need more shine for the crown. Oh my, that's gonna be a timeout too. Quick few rounds hemorrhaged there by KRU, and it didn't actually look like they had an answer to what Lev was doing. Lev has just popped off a few rounds, and we haven't seen that from them this series yet. So
that's exactly they.
Cobwebs are gone, maybe.
Yeah, I mean that was a great example of the successes of what we praised Owner for many times in the rise of KRU, then the rise of Leviatan when they switched over there, is the amount of success he's getting out of these timeouts.
Yeah.
So after that timeout, tying up the game 4-4, it's time for Adam and the rest of KRU to figure out how they could actually stop that conditioning that Leviatan has been pressuring on that C side earlier on. They completely gave up that battle on that A side. with the amount of unsuccessful attempts that they tried to do there towards rubble control.
And rubble control will be there for KRU again. At these default defenses by KRU, I think they've recognized they're losing too much ground. Leviatan is just happily taking it now. And it looks like they may try to get this rubble fight again. Much more passive, though. That was already Mazzino trying to shadow step out onto the rock, right? They actually shadow step backwards here for a little bit of a rethought on the play.
Yeah, and moving close enough to that, they heard that shotted step out from Melzer. So it goes back to the same type of positioning here that we're thinking that KRU is doing if you're the IGL for Leviatan for King. Holding it back towards the spawn, but again, we've mentioned the patient play from KRU throughout the beginning of the LCQ. They're okay waiting that clock down.
One of my favorite things see Killjoys do is kind of Shy just threw a grenade into, or sorry, a molly into B. Able to get somebody to shoot that, so they get a slight idea of where the guns are positioned, where they're going to see defensive players. And even that little information helps.
Bomb grenade out.
And lockdown's ready, right? So if the lockdown's ready for Leviatan, what do?
Go see.
But Shy's still very far away, exactly. So it has to potentially be an early push forward from the rest of Leviatan.
They're going.
Saw that Nags almost wanted to bring out that Viper's Pit. And Davis is holding the first area.
They're trying to push.
Showstopper out and ready. It's out in the air. Kezet lands it onto Takulia. But now it's all over for Shy being the last player on a 2 versus 1. A chance to pick up the spike and plant.
10 seconds left.
But now that window of opportunity is closing. A flash around the corner. Klaus looking to run out. It's Spider right away. The gun is not out fast enough. Klaus denies Shy on an attempt of a clutch, and KRU regain the lead.
They're just snap judgment on these moments. Had Shy gotten a plan, he gets a turret, he has to watch one angle. That could have been so different. I feel like both teams are starting to think about everything right now in these tight moments. Leviatan and KRU together. Yeah, just instant run up. Has to plant, time's running down, don't give any type of advantage. And it smiles around there from Kesnet. So Leviatan go for another timeout. Like you just said, 3 rounds, lose 1. Owner wants that momentum. This is what we need to keep doing. This is what happened, etc., etc.
This is 2 timeouts in like 9 rounds.
Yeah.
So what do they have for the rest of the half? For me, it just indicates maybe Leviatan's map pick here on Lotus are comfortable enough playing the defense, so it comes down on maximizing the rounds here they could have on attack.
It's been interesting, too, to hear coaches and the afterthought of taking timeouts. Did you take them too early? Did you take them too late? And from what we've heard, it's kind of like, well, if you have them, take them. Because if you take them too late, what's the point, right? The damage is already done. So get back in there, reset the mentals, be able to talk to the team as soon as you can is some of that coach mentality for a few. And it looks like Owner is going to go right back into comms with the team at round 10. Here we are, 5-4. Is Leviatan tied up again with a Viper's Pit from King if they can take site. It's one of the continuous things we were saying here. The site's being taken by Leviatan, but these post plants can't be executed on. KRU just gets it back. A rubble once again. But they'll gain the control this time. I'm interested to see how this round plays since they'll get full control over rubble. We haven't seen too much of this. Uh-oh.
Surprise!
Family photo coming in from KRU over at Mound.
Photographer falls, and that is King no lurk. But meanwhile, though, Leviatan, look how far up they're pushed.
Get the spike!
Melzer is inside the site, punished. It's going to be Shy moving forward as the rest of them anchors, but there's a gap a bit. If people are going to rotate over towards the baby door, Seeker's coming out on a defense. As all of KRU decide to rotate back from a spawn and push back and fight back. Long-range ADSing, Shy trying to get information for his team.
That was a great Prowler back.
Good damage to hold back KRU, forcing the regrowth to come out from Klaus, allowing Leviatan to get inside the A site on his 3 versus 3. Now a lockdown on the defense. Plant yet to go down. Door about to reopen. We're forfeiting our position to repivot somewhere else.
Enough time. 40 on the clock.
Nozer's gonna get caught though. Shy though gets the pick. It's traded off by Davies.
Spike down A.
But now the spike's so far away towards rubble. For KRU, they're all falling back here towards middle on this 2 versus 2 now. Prowler
have the spike.
and a haunt still available. The rotate
Kesnet.
back the
I'll
flank
take
behind from Kesnet, and he heard it. He heard it. He's just going to play the off angle now with 15 seconds left.
So smart, plays his life.
Leviatan understands this, though. They have to push back towards the A site because they have no time left. 10 seconds. It's
left.
Davies with the off angle. No!
Davies!
4 kills in the round. The lineup on the last 2 players of Leviatan.
Oh my gosh, and the fadeaway for the last one. Giving himself the safety still, hits the shot as he pulls off. KRU's retakes have been fantastic so far, Vincily.
Didn't even need it there.
Honestly, yeah. The stop takes stops. Stop takes. Should make a new word out of it. Again, I don't think I have seen a frown on Kesnet's face throughout LCQ.
Oh, no.
We are finally seeing the Odin.
That's how you answer.
Yeah.
Okay, and Odin.
We're finally seeing what all the teams have been saying about Kesnet in practices when they play against him. He's showing it now.
Wait a minute, there's overconfidence now from KRU. There's a lot of damage, a lot of attempts to take control of the spam that King was doing with this Odin. But thankfully he had players with him. That stops the push from KRU, who readjusts now on a 1-3-1 position around this Lotus map. Same thing once again for Leviatan, though, trying to use that utility to push out towards Rubble. And Shy's responsibility now is to work on how KRU's adapting here on this triple push on long B. King with support, King the fall, and even Melzer continues to anchor down on the A side alone. Unfortunately there, duels are not being won now for Leviatan this time around. Round number 11 underway. Mazzino trying to look for a lurk kill. Force a rotate back. But unfortunately, he falls as well.
30 seconds left.
Every attempt failed for Leviatan, as maybe you're just going to salvage these last 2 weapons. The economy's so low now on the attack. You're hoping at least to cut your losses to a 7-5 half.
KRU avoiding the Odin on this one.
10
King
seconds
goes
left.
down again, still having first blood troubles throughout the maps, but that strategy is really good to counter what KRU has been doing, to push on to Rubble, to get up in their face. But every time we've seen Leviatan not rush something, that gives KRU enough time to own the map.
Last round
And even,
before the
it was
switch.
such a good counter with the Odin, we see it all the time, and it can slaughter a team. But I think it just gives KRU time to set up. They are using everything to an advantage, and it's crazy.
Yeah. It was a good read still, though.
It was a great read.
They anticipated that triple push from KRU out towards the B side. But it's King with an Odin,
my
ADSing
gosh.
with support from Shy. Wasn't quick enough. Tiny bit slower on the ADS with the Odin there, and he got punished right away. So hoping here with the half buy that you have and a judge in the hands of Takolia. Name of the game is potentially to prioritize these orbs to allow a showstopper. Nope, it's just going to be a satchel in with the judge. Clear the space, the door is yet to be open on that baby door, so an opportunity for Leviatan to play the post plan after the pit coming out. Nice shot there from King right after Nightfall coming out towards that B side. The judge is close. It's denied right away. Close range battle, big flash from Klaus. Now up to 3 players alive on the pulse blind. Counter pit coming out on the defense as well for KRU. Noswer just into the thick of it. Head to head against Klaus, gets dropped. Now the shorty of King evens up the tally up. So low.
King.
Next at 1 HP, Klaus at 21. The pit falls, but Shy plays the long range. Now there's no time, at least for... Nice! Shy! 2 kills
needed.
in the end and the swing out. The Red Bull clutch! And Leviatan salvaged that round number 12.
What an incredibly scrappy second map from these teams. You can almost never tell which way the round's going to go. The last bit of fights, how they're pressuring and pushing each other. I honestly don't understand how they're able to come up with the answers each round. It takes that kind of firepower. And we've seen it from KRU and Lev.
Yeah. Well, at least so far here, River, seeing that this is continuing to stay fairly close.
Yeah.
But those 2 timeouts that are already being used by Owner, we'll have to still gonna be able to do it here on this second half, so we'll have to toss it over back to the desk.
The Leviatan fans seem to be reminiscing on the times when this was a stomp in their favor, but times have changed here. It's no longer the moment that Josh is dreaming of. It's a moment where KRU is stomping in this one. On map 2, 7-5 at the half, they've continued their dominance that we saw in the first round.
Positivity.
Positivity.
That's the name of the game here. Listen, KRU been popping off individually. A lot of players having really dominant form, and Lev actually keeping it close at times. Huge performances from King. We already know this guy's capable of a lot. And, I mean, he was turning up the entire time. I can't take this guy.
And Shy stepped up that half as well. 50 kills, I think. And I think Taco's having a better map, like kind of what they need. I mean, it's 5-7.5. They didn't get much, but 5-7 without pistol, not the end of the world.
You can see the light at the end of the tunnel. I think for a Lev potential, bringing it back, come back, whatever. But also, you got to talk about KRU. This is a monumental moment for them because you think about it, they're ahead. It's a narrow lead in terms of it, but they are able to take the title back in terms of being one of the best teams in LATAM, at least between these two teams.
And those are the two best teams in LATAM, and the guy at the front of that has continued to be Kezin. He had a world-beating map #1, something like 400 ACS at the end of that one, and it seems like he has just kept that performance into the second map as well, Vanity.
I'd say he slowed down a little bit, but I think he's probably still at like 300. So if that's slowing down, then we'll take
240,
it.
not bad.
We'll take that.
I mean, that's not bad at all.
That's still a great half.
But no, I definitely agree. Definitely slowed down, and it was down to, again, those heroics, but still some missteps individual. Listen, there's things we could dive in on. I'll leave that to Joshua. I mean, this guy is, we don't really need to say much. He's not on camera. He's posing for it, though. But this is an important match. We really can't stress enough how good this is for KRU as an org, as a team, the entire players as well, after going winless in the regular season on the verge of beating their regional rivals.
Remember how long it has been since KRU has been considered the best team in LATAM. They were the kings for a long time. These rosters have gone back and forth. But now KRU is but a half away from reclaiming that title and taking down a wounded Leviatan. We'll have to see if that squad, if Leviatan can recover, though, as we head into the second half of Lotus with the casters.
And just to reiterate once again, those timeouts from Leviatan have already been used all towards this first half when Leviatan was playing on their attack side. And usually on this map here, think about it, Lotus, very attacker-sided. Now you have to be pristine here on your defense with what you're currently pulling out for Leviatan, and you're hoping that it starts now in the pistol round.
And we see this, the same strat that Leviatan used against Cloud9, pushing out towards C. Will it work against KRU?
Oh, Leviatan's just running it down.
Oh, dear.
Pushing out towards the B side, too. Sheriff couldn't connect, but the long range of the Classic permits a trade-off to happen. A 4 versus 4. KRU taking control of Rubble and Nearger Stormian. A race to the finish line, and that line is that toxic screen. But they cut noise. They're pulling back. They heed their footsteps. Catching Takulia with the boom bot in hand. Right-click Classic doesn't work out for a second kill, as now the advantage goes back for KRU.
Turning back around. Shy wants to push now. KRU is absolutely reading everything that Leviatan is doing here. Staying in spawn is 5 to begin the round, rotating away. KRU looks like their hand was being forced, and what a great rotation Leviatan got out of them. But as soon as KRU stopped and said, wait, we can turn around and fight this.
That's exactly it.
They got the advantage.
The off on-the-fly calls from Melzer. That double stat that they had in that first pistol round, this time around saying, hey, let's stop cut noise, let Leviatan run into us.
30 seconds left.
And it leaves now with 3 versus 1. With the IGL of Leviatan.
Toxin screen down.
The king with the ghost. Looking to reclaim at least a C site now as it gets planted for KRU.
Just the creep in. Basically walks into a crossfire once he does get deep enough.
There's a first contact.
Davies gonna hide it. No, Davies just waits for Klaus.
Yep.
Already 4 towards that Sky ultimate, towards your Seekers here for the second half. And a very quick round there that Leviatan tried to produce. KRU just seems to have such good, not even mid-rounding, but in-the-moment calls, whether it's mid-round, late round, or beginning of the round. They have an A, B, and C to the strategy they're running, and it never looks too discombobulated when they do it. They are quickly attacking Leviatan's flank, and then looking forward for another kill on Shy, just to capitalize even more on your first round. So, what do they do here? Do they still wait for Leviatan to activate? I think we'll see KRU move a little slow, and then blast into the site here.
Yeah, KRU doing a little bit of the Leviatan TP on the other side from the dark cover. out from Melzer, but no Haunt to fall, of course, because they don't have a Fate to work with, but still the principle of the initiator supports them. Klaus moving forward with that initial flash, forcing a little bit of utility to come out from Leviatan to start, but this is all a ruse. They're going for a 5-player stack now for Leviatan towards the A site, and KRU thinks they've read the map perfectly, and they're about to walk right into this.
Watching the back already, Shy is holding his turret active in B. So they do have a bit of cross-map control, but it's all about A here. And I believe there's a footstep right outside by KRU just now.
Yeah, no paranoia. This is going to have to be like paint shells on a tap. Sees nade, Haunt to come out and get flood right through. And you're hoping that all of these classics will pay
quiet.
off. All of it becomes no contact. Plays for KRU walking in. King falls first. There's a nade, there's a C, the Haunt rather, but it's a little too late to get any type of fruition there for Leviatan for the retake. All dropping like a deck of a house of cards rather. And a flawless round then comes in for KRU.
All right. It doesn't feel like do or die since there's more rounds, but you almost feel like Lev needs this bonus round with the way things have been going right now. KRU's possession of the lead. Walking in here, this is a good read round too. Seeing that Leviatan wanted to play all the way back in sight, how you might see the next one of their saves. KRU realizing Leviatan is pressured to create these type of trap plays. Sometimes you force your opponent's hand that much. Towards B, mid, and C. Or A, rather. I think KRU right now, they continuously look for the information that they are getting from Leviatan. Few shots, okay, that's a Vandal. A little bit of util there, but now we know who else is here. And just a quick peek in. Kesned only suffers decay, and they're out knowing a little bit more about the C site. So patient. Yep, there's a little more util. It looks like A may even be a place that they end on this one with rotation from Klaus. So just global presence they're trying to show, getting Leviatan off those original defensive positions, and right now they could catch Mazzino in rotation.
You got nades coming out on the defense from Takulia. A lurk activated from Davies over at KRU on the C side.
Yeah.
But the rest of them are still trying to add this pressure.
30 seconds
Pass
left.
towards rubble. Door being open, 2 players of Leviatan holding behind that. Seeker's coming out. You activate behind that, it's towards that B site. Snakebite coming in from the back spawn here from King.
Davies
Seeker's hitting Nosware, trying to counteract here with his Prowler. 10 seconds left. The plant is going to be at a default spot on the B site.
Look, on this gun round, the bonus for Leviatan. KRU is taking site with 3.
Nagset does a great job to hold out the angles here at the small door. And that's Leviatan to fall back and save. Nothing he could do here at this point.
Nothing. From all the way to C to a little bit of mid,
Last player standing.
all the way to A and back into B, Leviatan was not able to identify practically any member of KRU. Free map walking, down by the beach, holding hands, telling each other stories. KRU just has too much control right now.
Yeah.
Leviatan has to get in their face. Let's see how they produce this next round. Just scaled up. Even after the plant, they keep going. They keep hunting. They know they need to tag everything down onto Leviatan right now. Klaus getting 3K. We already knew the Seekers were coming up quick for him on this second half.
And that
They
B
just have
hit.
all of it.
B call was perfect as well. They saw the nanoswarm that popped off here from Davies that threw it down, and it broke one of the nanoswarms from Shy towards C. Hurt the Haunt as well from the late lurk. And then Seekers showing 2 guys on the A side, 1 on B. You identified everybody, pretty much.
Yeah.
Nothing, unfortunately, that Leviatan could do on that retake on now. A stinger by, playing as close as you can.
Here.
Trying to gamble some sort of late pivot towards the B site.
Leviatan is going to have to close the distance as quick as possible with this stinger round. KRU has not been messing around. They're going to scale in here, probably put somebody on the A-Halls too, right on the Viper orb, and just wait for this retaliation. A good smoke actually here from Leviatan to get a little space back. They're dropping into sight.
Paint shells just got thrown by Takulia, dispersing now the pulse planners of KRU. First one to fall comes in favor and an advantage for Leviatan for the retake. Kesdet blocked away by a smoke. Nice paranoia from Manzino to push forward. A nice shot! A second one from King! Now Kesdet tries to fight back. The Stingers still continue to hurt and bite KRU away as Leviatan finally shows a beautiful display of a retake on a lower buy.
Bash and crash into the site. Stingers, they weren't going to work any other way. They basically had to get within arm's reach of KRU to make that happen. And I think multiple rounds now, we've seen that work for Leviatan. The pressure, the chaos. It just throws KRU for too much of a loop. Great timing on the paranoia into King, capitalizing on those kills. And then through the door, King comes up again. 3K for the Viper. And now Leviatan get a little bit of life. That's a round they absolutely needed here. 10-6. Can they close the gap? Shy now with the Odin in play.
Oh my God. When you have little hope there for Leviatan, it just
snuffed out. Snuffed right out.
All right, well, now advantage for KRU. Showstopper creating space. And a plat now comes in. Oh my God.
Spike planted.
You're kidding.
You're
kidding.
What can you do once again?
You can't.
Lady luck.
It's the little things that keep happening.
Yeah.
Seems like KRU just has the timing of these instances in their favor today. The moons are aligning for the Groupium. And now they just wait for this one to go off. Another save here from Leviatan. And not even the Odin's gonna make it. Insult to injury there. Every answer Leviatan's trying to bring into the map, falling to the wayside. King should be able to stay alive along with Nasr here. But it's Melzer, it's Kesnet, it's Klaus, it's Davies,
it's
Snags, it's the whole roster. I'm gonna say it again, it's Adam.
Yep.
It's when you need them. They open up the round. Davies that time with a huge one. It leaves Leviatan wondering from the first few seconds.
It's also the KRU fans, actually, that have been fairly loud throughout the whole LCQ to support them.
And the run begins. They're running so fast, Sideshow's going to have to buy them all new shoes. They are on the run. Maybe they'll just get... No, I can't go clown shoes. Those aren't easy to run in.
Yeah, you just trip.
You got to buy new shoes. All right. Focusing a little control over towards the A side. KRU giving Leviatan multiple things to think about here, as Nags is just going to play with that rubble area. Mound pushed very fast here so they can tempt this C take to get a reaction out of Leviatan. Spike's not even here.
They don't really need it. You're just going to keep TDMing me with this much confidence that you have now for KRU. Pain shells on the back, keeping two players of Leviatan towards the C side. A slight pivot as well from Takulia towards B.
That feels good. I mean, yeah, you took down the Sky, you took down the Initiator, but now the KRU know they don't have to worry about that Killjoy utility.
There's that paranoia that we were talking about here at the entrance of the A site. Snakebite on the ground. Mazzino fully blinded. Satchel's out from Kesnet. I mean, that's a beautiful way of taking rubble control.
Taco. He just looked away. Vans. Can it ever go right in these situations?
I wanted to. I really wanted to.
Oh, my word. How unfortunate here. As KRU continue to pick up these frags, just being in the right place, right time.
Careful here.
As they continue to rout the defenses of Leviatan.
Now, too, with nano swarms on a pulse plant, playing outside of the site for KRU. There's nothing that Leviatan could do with the last two players, King and Nas, were saving their weapon once again, but this is going to put KRU at map and series point with a big lead so far.
I feel like it's to pressure everything here
Player standing.
for the side of KRU. You go on one site,
Oh no.
adjust how the defense is playing on that site and gain info. Usually you're getting info with utility. KRU is using bodies to get info right now. The anchoring of the trades to make everything work in their favor. Get this replay of just, do you expect that? Do you expect a dry peak swing coming in from the team? This late too? Varying the ways they're taking a site. KRU is that's the little things they need to throw off Leviatan here. And we'll see again if they try to start this strategy of some going over this way towards C once again, some mid, and again, Mound over here.
Stopper out, Takulia lands it onto Klaus, but Melzer's on the other end.
Good lord.
That spike down. But Kesnet continues to run and gun and dispatches the aggression that was attempted out of Leviatan.
They hear door.
Instantly, we have a 2 versus 2, identifying one player.
Last player
Nice
standing.
shot by King Elise, identifying
Spike
one
down,
player
attacker
towards that
spawn.
door, towards the B side. Nagzit doesn't really know if both players are there. And now he does. Both footsteps are coming out. There was a moment. There was a moment where there's a little bit of miscommunication. One overstepping is shy, but thankfully he won his duel. And now Leviatan are up at 7 rounds. And
Yeah.
watching here from Sliggy's chat, that means now that what? KRU has only 5 chances.
5 chances left?
Enemy
You
remaining.
gotta love it. You gotta love it. So that B area is becoming the majority of our fights between both teams. Right here. That's the big spot we've been looking at for the last few rounds, and it looks like it's gonna happen again, Van Silly. They are all going for it. Door control too may have a big play here.
Especially when you have a lockdown. Beautifully read so far by Leviatan. Nightfall to push him back. Melzer watching the front, watching the pinch, identifying that pinch.
And KRU backs up. It's almost like they have Leviatan out of position now.
I mean, the A side is open.
Yeah.
I've got your trail.
Seeker's coming out too, and that's all gonna head towards that left side and also one towards the flank.
All right.
Big pit to prevent now Leviatan from moving in and scaling up with a lockdown on the post plant too. This is gonna be very difficult for Leviatan to come back with.
You should run.
Lockdown coming in. This is such an interesting pit. They can drop in from the back of sight and be safe, but where's the first fight come from? Kesnet takes down Mazzino.
Elise now, as Mazzino falls, drop the lockdown. So an opportunity Elise to try to come back. The pit would also fall as Nagzit just got picked off by Noswer. It's back to a 3 versus 1, only up to Noswer. Showstopper out, lands at the feet of Noswer. Kesnet with 4 kills, and KRU continue to right their wrong as they move forward in the LCQ and will meet Cloud9 in the upper finals.
And for the mental, the build-up from a season where they could not find this success, they start to tear down their region, to build back that momentum, to know that they have the ability to find these W's again. And now going further in LCQ.